Call the Broken Arrow City Council meeting to order. We have invocation by Reverend Palin.
Good evening. Would you pray with me? God of all time, one who gives us this new year, we come before you today in this city meeting aware of the past year, how it has unfolded. Some of the things we needed to do were accomplished, some were not. Some were abandoned as we found other ways to accomplish the work that we needed to do. Some things were accomplished because of hard work and tenacity. Some things were accomplished because it was simply the right thing to do. Help us to remember who we are to ourselves and to others. Help us to be mindful that our words and deeds can make an impact on others and can carry much power. May we walk gently but firmly, aware that by serving the Broken Arrow, City of Broken Arrow, the mayor, the city manager, the council, first responders, and city workers are placed here to serve all the constituents of the city. In serving this city, they all serve you. Allow us to look to the new year with hope for the wholeness of the entire community. Allow Broken Arrow to become a community united in justice, peace, and harmony, knowing that there are so many differences that could keep us apart. Allow us to look for the similarities of purpose, a like-mindedness that will cause growth and unity. I thank God for the people that you have placed in power over this city. I ask a special blessing for their commitment as they work together as mayor, city manager, city council, city workers, and our fire and police departments. Remind them that the decisions they make impact all of the Broken Arrow community. Help them to listen well to the community while making decisions about the community. They know they speak for all of us. Creator of all life, help us to enter the new year reverently, aware that you have endowed every creature, plant, and every person and habitat with beauty and purpose. Help us to seek out our purpose here in Broken Arrow. May we regard the world with tenderness. May we honor rather than destroy. I ask that you give wisdom and a spirit of unity and generosity to this gathering. Allow all voices to be heard as they bring up issues that impact the community. Lover of all souls, help us to enter the new year joyfully, willing to laugh and dance and dream, remembering that our many gifts with thanks and looking forward to the blessings yet to come. May we as community help our neighbor so that we may become a community of welcome for all people. May we welcome your lavish love. May we cast off small, vindictive gods of our fears have made. May the grace and peace that you bring to us bless us now and in the days ahead. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, ma'am. Roll call.
Pickle.
Here.
Green.
Here.
Ford.
Here.
Parks. Here. Wimpy.
Here. Please stand and join Councilor Green for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Attention. Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as it stands.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Roll call. All right. Item 7, public hearings, appeals, presentations, recognitions, and awards. 7A, recognition of Robert and Lori Slankard for their participation in the Great Christmas Light Fight competition. We have a certificate of recognition for you all if you'd like to come up. Like, how exciting that we have this couple that brought us
National
recognition for all of your hard work. It's so awesome.
And I mean, honestly, what great ambassadors you are for our city. I bet we have so many people moving to Broken Arrow because of how wonderful you told everyone about it.
You don't often get a chance to go on national TV and brag about your hometown, so
Yeah.
I'm the lucky one.
Yeah, definitely.
I did bring this to council because I wanted to recognize you, but it wasn't just me. I had constituents reach out to me and said, hey, is the council going to do something? And I'm like, well, as a matter of fact, I'm already working on it, but I just want you to know the citizens of Broken Arrow are so proud of you. And we know you didn't win, but you're winners in our hearts.
Yes, yes.
How many years have you, and it may say it on the certificate, is it 32 years?
30, I don't even know, 33.
Okay, well, we put 32 on here, but we can mark it out.
Okay.
And
It's
put,
just been a long old time, and I'm as young as I used to be.
I mean, and I cannot even imagine. I mean, me putting lights on the bushes and my husband putting them, I'm like, I can't even imagine, but it's a beautiful display. And what I really even love more, not only do you show the love of Christ through your lights, but you also give back to Broken Arrow Neighbors, in which I'm a board member of, and I have been for years. And we really, really appreciate your giving service and also letting other people in our community and outside our community know about Broken Arrow Neighbors. So,
I was hoping you would mention that,
yes,
so.
yes.
Well, on behalf of the City Council, we have a certificate of recognition in honor of Robert and Lori Slankard in recognition of their recent debut on national television on the Great Christmas Light Fight, representing Broken Arrow, Oklahoma with their huge Christmas lights display. They have been creating their display for 33 years now. The Slankards only ask that the public donate canned goods or cash to give to Broken Arrow neighbors. Mr. and Mrs. Claus make an appearance every Friday and Saturday evenings. So, on behalf of the council, we are so excited for you guys. Congratulations.
Yeah. Can we take a picture?
Yeah, can we take a picture with you guys? Look up there.
I'm still in my own little world.
I bet that guy had something to do with it too, didn't he?
Yes,
I actually got up on top of the roof this year, I'm so proud.
Yes, this is his son, their son.
This is Nick. The Great Light Fight asked us to send pictures in while we were decorating so they could use on the show. We sent some of us up on the roof. They emailed back and said, we can't use these.
Because they were too
Dangerous.
Well, we're so proud of what you've done for our city and just what you do for our city every year for 33-ish years.
It's been a long time.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you all.
You got everything taken down, everything's in
Oh, it's
storage.
gonna be great. I'm excited about next year. That's been a while since I've been excited about this year. Thank you all. I wish Mom and Dad were alive to see it. They've been in shock.
Thanks for bringing us to stay for the rest of the meeting.
I mean, you can stay for the rest of the meeting if you want to.
You're welcome to stay.
We gotta feed the kids.
We can put some money in that Broken Arrow music.
There you
Yes.
go, we like that.
Do that. All right.
Congratulations, guys.
Item 8 is a citizen's opportunity to address the council on general topics related to city business or services. No action may be taken on matters under this item. We do have one citizen that wants to speak. Alex, is it Gortoy?
Yes.
Did I say it
Good evening,
right?
everybody.
Good evening.
Hi.
Hi. So yeah, I prepared something. My name is Alex Gortoy. I'm a web developer and entrepreneur with 20 years experience making websites and mobile apps. I'm looking for clients to make websites for. If you'd like to, please contact me by email, alex@goretoy.com. I'm trying to create an opportunity for many people in the city of Broken Arrow to meet. A website that would basically be like the Chamber of Commerce business listing for all the companies in the city, only this would be for local singles. It would allow others to request contact info of the person they like and would allow people to see who visited their profile. Something very basic with security measures in place to provide the safest possible way to find others in Broken Arrow without having to resort to dating apps or going to church or chance or timing, all to make friends or to find love in the city. Not only is Broken Arrow a beautiful place to live, work, and play, a place where opportunity lives, but Broken Arrow could be a safer place for locals to meet online, form long-lasting relationships, friendships, and build families together. If you ask anyone about their experience with dating apps, they will tell you about catfishing and scams that happened while they tried to find someone online. We can solve this problem by providing a website or app from the city, a way to meet locals in BA. Don't get catfished. To create a profile and access others in the app, a person has to go to the city hall and show their ID or driver's license and pay a fee to create a profile on the website or app, which stays active for 1 year and can be renewed every year by visiting City Hall with their ID. This way, everyone using the app knows everyone else in the app is real and lives in Broken Arrow and wants to meet other like-minded people, thereby protecting our community from the attacks of all these dating apps that leave Broken Arrow broken-hearted. They rob your wallet, lower morale, and increase mortality rate. There needs to be something the city can do to provide an alternative to dating apps for the community to use. Dating apps are being sued right now for monetizing all the features they provide and not delivering on their promises for helping people find others. Federal law, such as Communication Decency Act, protects dating platforms by generally shielding them from liability. In other words, if someone you meet on a dating platform physically or emotionally harms you, the platform itself typically is not responsible. And so, yeah, I just want to create some kind of a service that the city would provide, some kind of a list that only people that have a profile would have access to, so it wouldn't be public to everybody. And something that would just allow people to request contact info, phone number or email upon visiting a profile, and you see the pictures and like about me section, some interests. And it wouldn't, rob people from the money that they have to work hard for in order to meet others in the area.
Okay, well, thank you for this idea.
You're welcome.
So we will have
Very
it.
intriguing.
Yeah.
You can get married in Broken Arrow.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, and you can
They
actually
may
get
meet on the
married
app
at the
and then
chapel
get
on the
married,
hill.
yeah.
My family owns that property over there, that chapel on the hill, and we need more business.
Okay.
So this would
Well, now
actually,
you just did an advertisement for him, so.
yeah, and you could make a lot of money from this app. Like if the city created this, the city could make money from it, and they could advertise local businesses and discounts for couples to enjoy on their dates and stuff like this. And so
Okay.
I think the city could protect the community by having such a service.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Very
All right.
interesting.
Yeah. All right, item 9 is general council business. 9A, consideration, discussion, and possible appointment of one council member to serve on the Broken Arrow Senior Center Board of Directors with a term expiring June 30th, 2025. And Lori Hill is not here. Is there anyone that wants to speak on this?
Just the fact that we need another member of the governing body to serve there. If you recall, there are two folks, or two members of council that serve on the board as the actual board members. And so with the departure of former vice mayor, council member, that leaves an open position. And so obviously we have a very strong vested interest in there. They rely very heavily on the city in terms of our partnership. And so we would like to see the council fill this as soon as practicable so that we've got full representation on the board.
I'll speak toward it, and it is a great board to serve on. It is great, and I think the term is 2 3-year terms, 6 years, but you really learn a lot and you meet a lot of people. So it's great for a new council person's maybe to volunteer for
That
that.
was smooth, Councilor.
Very nice.
And I'm already serving, so I'm the other person, and I'm actually going to be the chair this year, so we're going to have a great year.
Well, I actually serve with Ms. Crenshaw. We're going through Leadership Broken Arrow, and every second Thursday of the month, she asked me if I'm going to join her board and serve there, which I'm happy to, if that's what the council wants, or if Mr. Pickle wants to, but I'm happy to fill that. Or I'm sure Mr. Pickle may have some interest in it.
Well, I would just say this, is if you look at the services the city provide, if we didn't have this great organization, we would have to provide those services because there's such a huge demand. And Kim and the board do an incredible job for our seniors. And so it to me, you look at the services we provide and the return on the investment, this partnership is incredible, and that's why we need to keep it filled, because they rely upon us, and they're doing a really good job to represent our seniors.
I'll nominate Counselor Green to serve on the board. unless you're just really have a.
I'll even second it.
Okay.
Don't worry, we can appoint you to like 75
Yeah,
committees,
Lots of
yeah.
opportunities. Okay, you'll just need to click this second. Oh,
You did.
help me get on this screen. I don't think
You did.
There we go.
It just takes a minute.
All right, we had a motion and a second. Roll call, and congratulations, Counselor Green.
Congratulations, Councilman.
And we made Kim happy.
Yeah.
And we
I know
made
she's
Kim
watching.
happy.
We have LBA this week, so I'm sure.
We're very happy.
Good.
Item B, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of and authorization to execute an agreement for automatic aid and fire protection and first response and mutual aid and fire protection and first response between City of Coweta and City of Broken Arrow. Chief Moore. Super excited about this, by the way.
Yeah, me too. Good evening, council, vice mayor,
There you go.
mayor, vice mayor, council, Mr. City Manager. Thank you for this opportunity. I just want to give a little bit of background. There's an area, and you can see I got the map up behind us, but there's an area of citizens that live outside of the city of Broken Arrow and outside the city of Coweta in what is actually unincorporated Wagner County area. We do have a fire station, or a couple fire stations that are very close to that, because we've got a couple fire stations on the border of our community. But over the last several years, and increasingly over the last, in 2024, we had several citizens of unincorporated Wagner County that were dialing 911 for life-saving situations, medical emergencies, even fires and so forth, and they were waiting a prolonged period of time for emergency services. It's not the city of Broken Arrow's responsibility, even though we're close. All of the area that we're talking about tonight is outside of both city of Coweta and the city of Broken Arrow in unincorporated Wagner County. However, it does fall in what is typically called Coweta's Fire District. So those citizens that have bought houses out there do have a Broken Arrow mailing address, which is a United States Postal Service function, but because their address says Broken Arrow, they do believe they would get Broken Arrow services, and that's just not the case. They're not within our city limits. But they have come to our city leadership over the last year, and they've been to city of Coweta's city leadership over the last year, and collectively, both cities and both fire departments want to provide a service to those citizens, even if it's not our legal obligation. We feel like we have a moral obligation to try to take care of people. They do fall between our two communities, and we want to just provide life-saving public safety if at all possible. So over the last few months, we've worked with the city of Coweta to come up with this automatic aid agreement that basically says, and there's a lot of specificity to it, but if we have a Broken Arrow Fire Department fire truck that is closer than a Coweta fire truck, but no greater than 5 miles from a Broken Arrow fire station, we will go and help on working fires or what's called Priority 1 medical emergencies, which are the most life-threatening medical emergencies. They will also reciprocate that to us. If they have a fire truck that's closer to our citizens than we are, they would come to us. But we understand, and Coweta acknowledges, their opportunity to provide reciprocal services to the city of Broken Arrow are just not that common. So they're actually paying the city of Broken Arrow for this service. We had some conversations a few months ago with council, and we said, well, nobody should just get an absolute free ride. So they're actually paying us to provide services to people that live not within their city limits nor within our city limits, but we're all in agreement that we would like to help out for those life-threatening emergencies and working house fires or structure fires. So this agreement will provide that service to them at a cost of $2,500 a month. And so it's about $30,000 a year, which will offset some of our costs and expenses. But on the flip side of that, they're getting an amazing service for $30,000 a year. If there is a structure fire, we're going to automatically send. All of this is if available. We will always reserve enough fire trucks in town to protect our citizens. But should we have that limit, that threshold, above that threshold, we'll send 2 fire trucks on structure fires, on confirmed structure fires, because it's not just about protecting the citizens. We want to make sure we have ample firefighters on scene to protect our own. And so we're going to send not just 1 fire truck, as we have typically done in the past when they've asked for assistance. We're going to send 2 fire trucks. And then those life-threatening medical emergencies will automatically send a fire truck to stabilize the patient, begin providing them care. Then their EMS ambulance transport will come to those citizens. It's their responsibility. They'll pick them up and take them to the hospital, and our fire truck will return to service. So last night, the city of Coweta, at their council meeting, they approved their side of the agreement, and so I'm bringing it for you tonight for your consideration, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Was that a defining line, would it be their fence line,
So
101st Street?
we are, the green area that's shaded is 5 miles, is 5 miles from our fire station unless they're closer. So that we're crossing the line into their jurisdiction several miles in some areas. So on the map, the blue shaded area is a 5-mile response time from their fire station. The red area are 5 miles from our stations. And so if they can get there quicker, whoever's closest will go. We're both going to go to them, but whoever's closest will go, and then we don't have to go any further than 5 miles. Once you get beyond 5 miles, you really get into their territory that they can get there quicker than we can anyway. So we've sort of put a threshold on it. Something I didn't mention also that this agreement solidifies, we've kind of had a handshake agreement to provide what we call a converging approach. On divided highways, we try to never do U-turns. That's how fire trucks and police cars and so forth get hit. But if you get on the Creek Turnpike, you're on it, or not the Creek, but you get on the Muskogee Turnpike, you're on it until you get to their exit. Well, if the caller that had the motor vehicle collision gets east and west messed up, that's a very long response time. So for the last 6 months, we've had a handshake agreement that anytime we have an incident on the Muskogee Turnpike, both agencies will respond. That way we are sure to get the patients what they need as quick as possible, and this also solidifies that a handshake agreement.
I'm sorry.
I was just going to ask, is this Whispering Hills, like across from our events park, or no?
There's some area, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will be 101st from our city limits line over about 3 miles, and then all the way down county line, it's over a couple miles there. It's a little hard to see, but you can see there.
Yeah, I was looking, I don't think we have an attachment of the map, and it was hard to tell, so I just wanted to confirm that.
Yes.
I've got a lot of calls on this because a lot of it's in my
There you go,
ward or
thank
near my ward. And I know we've had several conversations, and I appreciate the diligence and hard work you guys put in on this. I've even sat down with local insurance agents who've had issues with their folks being denied insurance. And I think one of those agents might be sitting to my left who can speak more on that due to the ISO ratings and things of that nature based on how close they are to a station and response times. So people are losing insurance, homeowners insurance, because of some of these difficulties. So appreciate you guys working on those.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, and that was exactly, so that is true. There are, with ISO ratings of 10, insurance companies are starting to non-renew people. And that's kind of down in that pocket there when you're looking at basically like 131st east of county line. You kind of get down into some weird areas there.
So you can see Fire Station 4 there. Can you kind of show that on the map? Fire Station 4 there at 121st roughly, and the Creek Turnpike County line. Right in that area, you get an ISO rating of 1 because you're a Broken Arrow citizen. You're in Broken Arrow proper. You cross that into the green area there, and you're an ISO rating of 10.
Yep.
Which is thousands of dollars a year on your homeowner's insurance, because on that side you're a Coweta citizen. This agreement is the first step to giving all of those people across that line an ISO rating of 1. We have to work with, Chief Arnold's team has already hit the ground running in the 911 center, helping us get the communication piece between, because all those 911 calls in that green area go to Coweta.
Yeah.
So we weren't doing a disservice to our citizens. We didn't get the calls. We couldn't respond there even if we wanted to. It was going to Coweta. That's their customers type
Yeah.
thing. So we're working with Coweta to bridge that and make that a seamless process. And once we make that completely seamless, they should reap the benefit of of the City of Broken Arrow's ISO rating of 1, which will bring down their homeowners insurance, which we hope encourages them to participate in Coweta's subscription program, so that they generate the revenue to pay Broken Arrow for the services we're offering. So if those citizens that live in that area participate in their program, Coweta should be able to easily cover the cost that we're sending to them to offset. I know Trevor's thinking, Jeremy, say it, say it, say it. Because we're offering them services, the two councils approved this, but because there's an exchange of money, it actually will have to go to the state attorney general for final approval of this document tonight.
Thank you, Chief.
Trevor, I do have a question for you. So if this is Whispering Hills, which it looks like it is, my parents live there. Should I abstain from voting, or can I vote on this issue?
That doesn't give you a conflict. You don't have a financial interest in
Okay.
the vote, so that would be your preference.
Unless you pay their homeowner's insurance.
I do not.
No, I'm just kidding.
But I'm telling you, I'm glad, I'm very thankful for you and Coweta to think about that, because they are kind of in no man's land. Like, they used to
But
be in
they're
the city of
so,
Coweta.
yeah, they're so close to Station 3. You said
Yeah.
4, but it's 3.
Yes.
Question. Can I-
Yep.
Chief, this agreement, do we have to wait to implement the service until we get the agreement, or are we going to go and going ahead and implement it as soon as practicable?
Chief Arnold's dispatch team is ready to start tomorrow. I've got a video to send out to all of my frontline personnel, making them aware of what's happening. We met Monday of this week and last week with our communications division. We're pretty ready to start as soon as possible. And so with the ratification of this tonight and the mayor's signature and so forth, we'll be able to move forward no later than this week. We're working out a few nuances with the transport situation. Honestly, our citizens have such a platinum service. We have a paramedic on every fire truck, and occasionally they have to run an ambulance that doesn't have a paramedic on it. So there's we have a legal obligation to provide that higher level of care, and once we start providing that higher level of care, we can't then pass it off to a lower level of care. So there may be those situations from time to time that we actually have to have our firefighter ride to the hospital with their ambulance if in fact they don't have a paramedic working that day. So we're working through some of that. We had lunch today, and the benefit is our medical director is Coweta's medical director, so we're expediting working through some of these nuances very, very quickly. So I think we'll have all of that ironed out no later than this week, but we'll start providing the service probably tomorrow.
Okay.
So,
And-
sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, on that scenario, though, if they did have to ride, then you have one man down. Does that cause an issue? Or do you have to call someone in?
It'll just be a temporary situation until they get back from the hospital, and Coweta is going to bring them back.
Okay.
It's on the way, it turns out.
Yeah.
But, I forgot what I was going to say. Disregard.
Counselor Reed.
So you stated that it needs to be approved by the Attorney General. So I think to Mr. Spurgeon's point, can we enact it without that approval from the Attorney General? You
The
said it was-
compensation piece, we're already mutual aiding. If they call, we
Right.
go. The process here is the compensation piece, and I'll let Trevor.
I knew what he was, inherently, unless council says differently, we're starting tomorrow, or as soon as the chief says. Financially, he may come back, Attorney General may say we cannot, and then council may have to make a decision. Do you want to provide this service without any compensation, at least in that form?
So I can speak to that. There's already an automatic mutual aid agreement in statute that covers everyone. The difference with this is since we're charging a fee, it actually is more of a contract for service, which is contemplated by statute, but that has a different procedure for approval. So the Attorney General has the ability to weigh in on that. So I don't see any legal reason not to be able to start providing the services. There might be an issue with collecting the fee for service because, again, it's a contract for services. And
Even though they're not our citizens?
so the statute contemplates having a different fire department or city or county actually entering into an agreement or a contract with another municipality or county to provide those emergency services for contracted fee. So that's perfectly allowable. What's different is if it's a mutual aid, automatic mutual aid, the Attorney General doesn't have a statutory right or responsibility to weigh in. If it is a fee for service, a fee for contract, which is what this is, they do.
Okay. So, and I'm assuming whatever's submitted to the AG, you're providing that this is priority one calls, and it's not just all calls or.
That's right. It's all written specifically into the agreement, working fires and priority one medical emergencies, which are the life-threatening ones. And a piece of what this does is it gives both cities kind of the green light to figure out how to make it better. Because we already have the statewide mutual aid compact, as Trevor mentioned, where you call me and I'll call my battalion chief, and my battalion chief will call the fire station and he'll send a fire truck. we're trying to cut that out, which is what has to be cut out to get the ISO ratings. You can't have the game of telephone between the 911 caller and the dispatcher. Has to be one continuous loop. And so Steve Bradley and the communications team is finding some solutions to that, and there's going to be a cost to that, which I couldn't have made this up, is exactly the cost we're charging Coweta, but we didn't even realize that on the front side. We're working with that, but it does seem like we can connect the two CADs together if we choose to move forward that way. It's going to take IT and Steve Bradley's team under Chief Arnold to be able to kind of work through this, that a 911 caller could call in this area, it would ring in Coweta, but it could show up at our dispatch center simultaneously when it shows up in their dispatch center. And that's a step that, in my opinion, the region needs to take, and it's light years ahead of where we've been, where everybody just operates in their silos.
Yeah.
What's the highest ISO rating?
1.
Like the worst or
The
the
worst.
best?
Yeah.
Worst
'Cause
is
I know we're the
the
best,
worst
but-
is a 10.
Okay, I was gonna say, is it higher
Or they
than
have,
10?
yeah, they have some nuances, but yes.
Yeah, okay.
I've had a lot of people call me about, is there anything we can do? Because they get the fire station right there, they know, but they're getting where they can't even get insurance.
Yep.
So.
The more we work together, the better service that the citizens will receive across the board.
I certainly would like it better and cleaner if we annexed the area, but that's another day and another.
Above my pay grade.
Well, maybe we can work on that.
I've had those conversations with citizens, but not to drag this out, but just to qualify. So if it goes to the AG, I'm not saying that it won't succeed, but if he says no, you can't do that, then it's going to come back to this body for further discussion on how we proceed.
I would like for the chief, I'm sure he's already planning this, is to keep track of the number of calls so I can report back to the council in 6 months to a year, because let's say the Attorney General says that's fine, when we determine we're spending an inordinate amount of time over there, we may have to look at renegotiations. I'm just
Right.
looking at everything from positive to, where there may be challenges, because obviously, as it's been mentioned by most council members a few months ago, is that obviously we need to be compensated in some regard for the services we're providing, because there's a lot of operational decisions that have to be made if a truck leaves town
Yep.
to provide services and covering and so forth. That's why it's taken a few months, because the chief has had to work through every single minute detail, because his number one priority is to keep Broken Arrow residents safe, fire and medical, but we want to service this area because they do support Broken Arrow, and we want to help Coweta in their situation. So it's taken some time, and that you can tell from what he said that he's really worked through, him and his team, is making sure that we have a good agreement.
The agreement references that we'll run calendar year 25 at this rate, but reevaluate it at the end of this calendar year, and we'll reassess is the fee structure.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, we have a citizen that would like to speak in favor of this item. Tanya Hammersley.
I just wanted to give my personal experience with this. We live off 209th, my brother and myself. My father passed away when we had to wait for Coweta fire. It took them 20 plus minutes to get there. We were already doing CPR when they got there, and unfortunately he passed. My grandson, about a month and a half ago, started going in and out of consciousness. We just loaded him up and took him to the county line fire station because it would have been so much quicker than waiting for Coweta. I know there's other people in my neighborhood when we built our brand new house 2 years ago that we didn't realize we were not right there where the brand new fire station was. We go to Broken Arrow schools. I know there've been other neighbors that have had to call, and they've had to wait 20 plus minutes for Coweta just because it's so far away from us and there's a fire station right there. So that is our concern. So I come here on behalf of my new neighborhood, I guess. I know a lot of us have contacted our people here to try and get this going, and I just want to encourage it to get passed because, it's a life or death. It is. And waiting 20 minutes could be life or death for any of us. And unfortunately, we didn't know when we built that we were nowhere, in no man's land, so to speak. So, yes, I would just like to encourage everybody to consider that. Because if my grandson, waited for Kawita, who knows what could have happened.
Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss for your father.
I appreciate that. So yeah, I don't know if that would have made a difference, but it's a long time,
Yeah, it
and we
is.
were for us to do it ourselves. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank
So
you
I
so much for
appreciate your
sharing.
time.
Thank you. All right. There's no further discussion. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to execute an agreement for automatic aid and fire protection and first response mutual aid and fire protection and first response between the city of Coweta and the city of Broken Arrow.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call. Wonderful. All right. 9C, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of Comp 1761-2024, a comp plan change for Level 3 and Level 6 to Level 3, located approximately 1/3 mile north of 71st Street and Elm Place. Rocky.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, members of council, Rocky Hinkle, Community Development Director. Comp 1761-2024 is a request to change the comprehensive plan designation from Level 3 and 6 to Level 3 on approximately 3.46 acres, platted as Lot 1, Block 1, North Side Christian Church. The applicant is requesting this change to the comprehensive plan for the purpose of rezoning the property for a future commercial development. Pending approval of this amendment to the comprehensive plan, the applicant has submitted a rezoning request to change the zoning to ON, which is Office Neighborhood. This item was heard by Planning Commission on December 19th, 2024, and was approved with a 4-0 vote per staff recommendations. Staff recommends approval of Comp 1761-2024. No one spoke in opposition, and the applicant is here to address any questions you may have.
Any discussion or questions?
Does this have anything to do with the development going into the east of that, or
No,
looking
sir.
at that? Because I know they were looking at a second way in and out, so that doesn't impact that at all. Is that
No, sir.
correct?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay. There's no discussion. Is there a motion?
Do you want to hear from the applicant, or do you have anything new to add?
No discussion.
I don't have any question. I'll make a motion, we approve the request.
I'll second that motion.
Bring it back to the
You
agenda.
have a motion and a second. Roll call.
I'm getting there.
That's
I was
okay.
looking at pictures.
All right, item 9D, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of Comp 1872, comprehensive plan change for Furniture Row lot split. Rocky.
Comp 1872-2024 is a request to change the comprehensive plan designation from Level 3 to Level 6 on approximately 1.63 acres. The applicant is requesting this change to the comprehensive plan for the purpose of rezoning and a PUD in the future. The applicant has not provided a draft PUD document or conceptual plans for the future development. This item was heard by Planning Commission on December 19th, 2024, and was approved with a 4-0 vote per staff recommendations. Staff recommends approval of Comp 1872-2024. No one spoke in opposition on this item, and the applicant is here as well to address any questions you may have.
Any discussion, or anyone want to hear from the applicant? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the request.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Roll call. Thank you, sir. There are no preview ordinances or remarks from governing body members. Well, he stepped out, but I was gonna, we had a really exciting day today where we welcomed our brand-new police chief.
He's gonna go get him, I think.
We can find him.
Well, I have two things while he's doing that. Can I go ahead and do mine?
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing, it's interesting that we had that item on the agenda, Chief Moore, because we helped Wagner, the city of Wagner, with a big fire recently.
Last week.
It was a
Yeah.
huge fire. I mean, our agency was there. All the pictures they posted, it was our trucks and all of our equipment, although there were other departments that were there helping
We
as
had our
well. But
ladders, yeah.
I just kind of feel like we really, we brought it.
Yes. We did.
So I think it's very important to be able to help our neighboring communities, and I wanted to thank the fire department for being there and doing such a good job. And then secondly, Mayor Wimpy, I want to congratulate you on being, I think you're an honoree. I don't know if you're up for another award or this is the award. So
I think
you may,
this is the award.
Okay.
Yes.
So she is in the inaugural honoree for She Leads Oklahoma. And there's an event that's going to happen March 6th, and there's tickets if you want to buy them. But what I loved about it, it's for the Leads Oklahoma is honoring Christian women of distinction. And it's Thursday the 6th, March 6th, like I said, 5 to 8 at ORU. And I love how we open every meeting with prayer. And I love how the city loves God. And you are the best shining example of how the city loves God, because you love God and you're not afraid to tell people. And so then congratulations, then you've already been, I wasn't sure if like you were still up for something else or like if you did it. So congratulations, we're very proud. I think I speak on behalf of all of us. We're very proud of you. Thank you. Thank you.
I had a couple of items. One was I know the city manager's mentioned this lately, but we've been looking at the housing and demographics of the city of Broken Arrow. And it's been a few months since we have really met and looked at that again. Why I think that's really important, and I concur with the city manager in saying that we needed to continue following up with that, is for any changes in our zoning ordinance. I know we've been talking a lot lately about size of lots and lot sizes, and that goes along with this housing and demographic report that we're looking at. So hopefully, council, within the next month or so, that will be coming back to you. If you remember, we discussed that at length, kind of, I think, over the summer as a council. So we need to bring that back up, because I think a lot of people in the community are getting mixed signals about what exactly is going to be going on the zoning ordinance and which one's not. So I believe you said, City Manager, that's coming up soon.
Yes, sir. Mr. Vice Mayor, I think we're going to have one more meeting. Unfortunately, I apologize, I don't know the exact date, but after that, we said at the last task force, we were going to have one more meeting, and then the council needs to act upon this, because it's like the pebble in the pond. There's things that need to ripple as a result of that, dropping that pebble. And so I think that we're going to be in a position after this next meeting to come back with council if the school district has some recommendations, or if the committee has recommendations, or both, and then council will can move forward with actually taking action.
I just want to make sure the council knew where we were at on that. And it won't change the zoning ordinance, but it will amend the zoning ordinance, the lot sizes and stuff that we're looking at. Okay? The second thing that I have is that we had asked, I visited with Justin, and we had asked that the youth city council, as we go to Washington, D.C., their day be extended one day, because what's happening in the last few meetings we've been to, we're not able to have our regular council interact with our youth city council when we're at the activities. Say when was in Florida, earlier, the city council was coming back, youth city council, as the city council was coming out. And in the past, we've tried to get them to interact some, whether it go out to eat, go out to some of our meetings. Well, I know we haven't looked at the agenda, but we've asked that they be extended one day. I don't think they're coming back until Wednesday morning, I believe it is. So if you have any ideas when we do get our agenda, any meetings that they might attend with you or whatever, but it's to give you guys, our council, a chance to interact with our youth city council.
If they're there through the Hill Day, it would be really great for them to break up amongst us and meet actually with our congressmen and senators.
Right, but so far, our agenda hadn't come out yet.
Yeah.
So I don't like that it's completely separated. We need to have some interaction with them, and theirs is over, they'd be coming home on the Sunday or Monday.
That's a great idea.
That is a great idea. Vice Mayor Parks, and Deborah and I will check and see if there's a Women in Municipal Government luncheon that day. I don't know when that's planned yet. Yeah. Also, I'm the chair of the First Tier Cities, so
that'd be great.
We may have them in on that for sure. And then Deborah and I both sit on the Public Safety and Crime Prevention. Surely one of those are going to have something that day, and I'm sure the other ones that you all are.
Justin and I both thought that would be good for them to be interacting the way they have in the past. So
yeah, I like it.
That's for them to stay an extra day.
Do we need to vote on that since it's next
No, I'm
day,
clear.
we're good? Okay.
It was mentioned to me by the vice mayor, and obviously, I know how important the youth city council program is to the council as well as our youth. And so we're going to work out the details for that, and then we just need to work out the schedule. So,
And I'm going to connect them to be able to get the Capitol visit.
Good.
So.
Good,
we'll
great.
get that. Well, Chief, don't leave because you might be talked about. So, no, I just wanted to congratulate you again. Today we had our press release introducing our new police chief, and he got sworn in, and his family and friends and fellow chiefs that you're friends with. That was really neat to see. We had, gosh, I don't even know, over 200
about 250 to 75 people.
in attendance, and so many of our officers and fire women, men that were there in support. So we're really excited to have you, sir. So.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that too, and I want to shout out to our communications, both the police department and Aaron's team. It was a lot,
Yeah.
but I also like that Norm's like, okay, I'm ready to get busy, and I'm sure you are too. He's probably like,
Would you
okay,
like to
let me
share
get
what
my
your
job.
actual quote was? No? Okay.
Hey, he shared it with me a while ago, and you don't want to hear it.
But we are so
We'd be in
excited to
trouble.
have you on board, and I love the energy, and I would love to be in a room with you and Chief Moore and Chief Arnold all at the same time, just to see you all bouncing off the wall. So super excited for what the police department is going to have in this leadership.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to add real quick to one of the items, not to the chief, that's separate items. To Chief Moore's item, can we get with the HBA about having builders be informed and tell new homeowners that very thing about the insurance issues and such?
Absolutely.
They might not want to.
Well, they need to tell them. All right. City manager, remarks?
I do, Mayor, Council. I have several things I wanted to mention. First, I'm excited to share with you that the initial planning for 2025, as you know, the bond package, council authorized moving forward last year, and we had our meetings with the community groups, department directors. We've been doing some initial micro surveys to gather information. Well, on the 15th is the first internal kickoff meeting of the leadership team to actually start putting together the program of work for this year, which has many different facets to it. And most of it relates around finalizing the estimates and the package of projects that my office will be presenting to you probably right after we finish the budget, to the public education, the initial public education, all the way up to it culminating with, once council adopts the ordinance calling for the ordinance and the resolution calling for the election, and then the projects and the propositions, then the public education for approximately 90 days on making sure that folks have all the information they need when they go to the ballot to vote on the propositions. And so there's going to be periodical updates to the council with regard to where we're at, and then there's probably going to be the need for just some meetings to get you up to speed. We are going to be reaching out to all the community groups that we met with last year to show them the estimates, let them determine what their priorities are if they have multiple projects. The directors will be getting their information in the next few weeks to do the exact same thing. So there's going to be a lot of moving parts because we're 15 months away. And Nora mentioned today, not a lot of communities actually look 2.5 years out for a large initiative like this, but Broken Arrows, although they've shown a propensity to be supportive of bond projects, we're preparing this to where it's like we're going to leave no stone unturned as it relates to providing great information about all of these projects. And so that's the first thing I want to mention.
Well, I just want to add to that. That just reinforces the transparency that our city is so high on, and how your leadership has been that way too. And our citizens love having a say in what's going on. And 9 times out of 10, they love what's going on, but they want to know about it. They just don't want to be surprised with it. So I'm excited to start doing these community meetings and letting them know what see what they want, and then what we end up with.
I feel like we were just doing it, but
It does. It does seem like, I will tell you is that at the work session, which is another item I was going to mention next Tuesday, I believe there's 4 items on there, and one of them is establishing the quarterly meet and greets that many of you have mentioned to me you would like to have, and actually getting some direction on format and how to go about it, and then we'll actually go to work putting those together and picking dates throughout the year, and then advertising them, maybe a sprinkle of what could be discussed, a few topics to generate interest. I'll probably, within a month or two, before every one of those meetings, I'll have an agenda item for you all to give me an idea what you would like to see on it. The staff will give you some suggestions, and then that's what we'll advertise. And obviously, it'll be whatever the committee wants to talk about, those that show up, just like some of the individual meeting greets that you've had. So that was the second thing, and there's 3 other great topics on the work session that's going to be next week. I did want to mention that at the next meeting, Aaron is going to come and give the governing body an update on the connectivity micro survey that we took last year, and also talk to you a little bit about the fact the next micro survey is going to focus on parks and recreation, specifically the community center for Elam Park. I mean, the overwhelming success of our new park there. And so that is it's just been overwhelming how positive that has been, and that's a part of the master plan. And so I want to get council's ideas and thoughts, because we want to do that, get that feedback, because we still think there needs to be a micro survey on stormwater, and then probably come back and maybe even circle back to something else with roads and a few other items as we continue to kind of form everything up, getting ready for the public forums that'll take place after Labor Day this year, for the residents to come and look at the projects, give their priorities, so we can finalize everything to you for later in the year. So I wanted to mention that. A couple other things, interesting things. I need some, just let you know, you may have heard that Wagner County is going to do a special sales tax election to pay for the judgment that was placed against the county, specifically I think the sheriff's department. I think that caught a lot of people by surprise, quite frankly and respectfully. I would like to let the council know, unless there's any concern, I'm going to reach out some way to the county commissioners and ask them if they would attend the January 17th meeting of the governing body. It's your meeting, so I just want to make sure everybody's okay with it, and to have them tell us more about it. I mean, obviously, $13.5 million judgment is significant. Number one, a sales tax versus, I think right now by state statute or the Constitution, they could put it on the property taxes. And I think the measure says specifically if it doesn't pass, they will put it on the property taxes. And so my real concern is just at half, about 48 or 49% of all the folks that live in Wagner County reside either in Broken Arrow or in unincorporated Wagner County, but have a Broken Arrow address. And so you put a sales tax, does that create a concern for the city of Broken Arrow? Have they thought about the impact that additional 0.25% could that drive, at least temporarily, possibly, other folks into other areas? And I just think that needs to be transparent. So if that's what the voters decide they want to do, obviously they get to make that decision. But I do think, because we're so heavily invested, that if they would come and speak and talk to us a little bit about it, if you're okay.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
I think they were looking at maybe a 10 years, is that what I read, about 10 years?
I understand it's longer than that. It's actually going to have to be on there until such time as they pay it off.
Right.
But I think 15 is what I saw. Trevor may be able to speak. Do you remember? I just drawn a blank.
The amortization schedule was 10 years, but it's possible it could be longer or shorter. It's just going to depend.
I was surprised that it was that they were looking at a sales tax. I don't have all the information. I was just surprised I didn't heard about the lawsuit. But because even in the city, we know that legally that if we get sued, you know what I mean, that we actually just roll it over into the tax rolls.
Yes.
Property tax.
I'm concerned about that as well, and everyone being educated. How are you going about and educating? Because I don't even know if it's even appropriate. What caused it? What have they done to address those situations? I mean, I didn't think as the governing body for a large city within the county, there should be some questions at least get answered, because you're being asked about it. I'm being asked about it. I know you're all being asked about it. And unfortunately, I don't feel like we have all the information to be able to adequately answer the questions of the residents. And residents are in Tulsa County and Broken Arrow asking the questions, because obviously they have family members. I've heard that. I've got family members living in Wagner County. And so hopefully someone will come and actually address the council like they did when they had the sales tax measure last year. I think several came, and although they had differences of opinion, we did get information about it. So 2 other items. I do want to mention that there was an email that went out to the council members from Assistant City Manager Kenny Schwab about the Oak Creek crossing, basically letting the council members know that the developer decided to go straight zoning on that application. Notwithstanding, I requested that Rocky and his team provide notice to the residents in the area that it's happening, even though that is not required. I just felt it's important for the folks to know that's happening, because if they don't, and then they just move forward, those folks will come here and ask you, why weren't they told? Yeah. So I want to make sure you all are aware. Kenny's got a great communication that outlines everything, and we will certainly keep you posted, but I want to let you know that that came from my office to have that done, but I want to make sure you were aware, because I'm sure you'll start to get some phone calls as the notices are received, okay? And then finally, the mayor did mention, and also the council members, about today's press conference. It was very, very impressive, and for me, just two things I want to mention. The number of our partners that were there. I mean, obviously, every one of our major partners with the city of Broken Arrow had representation. Either the top person, like our CEO of the chamber, our superintendent of schools, the school board president was there. We also had so many partners that were there. NSU, I could go right on down the line from Muskogee Creek Nation. I know that Chief Arnold is meeting with that leadership team tomorrow with the Attorney General, which I'm very excited about. But really, and the number of employees that were there was really impressive, to say the least, about the support for Broken Arrow. I mean, obviously, and I did say this morning to the staff, I mean, the chief of police is an extremely important position, but our leadership team is, but without question, the very best, and the chief of police is part of that team. And so I'm thankful to all of them, and he should be blessed that he gets to work with so many great leaders. And so it is time to get to work, and I know he's going to do a great job, just like everyone else in that audience does. So that's all I have.
Totally agree.
All right. We have no executive session.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Thought you were going to add something.
I know.
I thought you got something.
We have a motion to adjourn in a second. Roll call. Call the Broken Arrow Municipal Authority meeting to order. Roll call.
Excuse me. Pickle.
Here.
Green.
Here.
Ford.
Here?
Parks.
Here.
Wimpy.
Here. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Roll call. There are no items, or public hearings, appeals, presentations, recognitions, or awards. There's no general authority business. Remarks from governing body members? City Manager?
I do, Madam Chair. Just real quick, we are gearing up for winter operations later this week. The utility department, Tim Robbins gave an update. Tim Wilson, you saw the email last week. Essentially, we're right now the models are working out. We are going to get some level of snow. Fortunately, it's Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening into Friday, which you're going to have snow. Of course, every event we treat with utmost seriousness. But we'll be ready. We'll be ready to go when the time comes. And once I know more about the model, I'll make sure the council's aware.
Okay. There is no executive session.
Motion to adjourn?
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Roll call. Call the Broken Arrow Economic Development Authority to order. Roll call.
Pickle.
Here.
Green.
Here.
Ford.
Here?
Parks.
Here.
Wimpy.
Here. Are there any items to remove from the consent agenda?
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Roll call. You gotta be faster.
Especially when we get to the end of the night.
There are no public hearings, appeals, presentations, recognitions, or awards. No general authority business. Any remarks from governing body members? City Manager?
No, ma'am.
No executive session?
I'll make that to adjourn.
Fantastic.
Push the button, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Roll call.
Way to go, guys.
Yes, good job.
We were gonna sit here till you said that.